Hey, what's up guys? This is Cody. So I'm going to give a little walk around of my car. I'm going to kind of go through some of the stuff that I have installed, or actually I'm going to go through everything that I can think of that's on my mind that I have installed. So first off, we obviously have twin turbos that came off the 3.5 liter F-150 EcoBoost truck. So that red cap right there, it doesn't go to anything. It's that's where the factory blow-off valve would have went to, and we have that capped down in there. So obviously I just pulled this out with my fingers. You know, it's not going anywhere. It's just kind of so bugs don't crawl up in there. This one over here, I'd actually pulled it off to show somebody inside of it, and I dropped it and it went way down under there, like right on the engine, and I couldn't grab it, and it just ended up falling while I was driving. So that one's open. So next we have custom downpipes. I don't think I'm going to be able to show you those. You can almost see it. Kind of right there behind the turbo. We had to cut the factory exhaust. We basically just added a piece of like stainless steel piping about that big that connected to the turbos. I actually don't even think it was stainless steel. It was just some type of exhaust pipe. But same thing on both sides. So we also have basically a complete custom intake. Like these charge pipes right in here, these came off of the F-150 EcoBoost. And all these silicone couplers right here, you know, you just buy these. These are kind of universal. Here's some more stock piping. But then the inlets for the turbos, these right here, these are double-walled neoprene, which is basically for insulation. So, and those lead up here under the grill. You can see part of the K&N air filters. Got some on both sides. And so we ended up drilling some holes in this part of the grill because they were completely closed, and the air filters are right there behind that part of the grill. So the factory inlet for the intake is just these two holes here, but we added all these other holes, and really driving down the road you can't tell a difference, like no one's going to notice. So since we're up here, you can see this CX Racing twin turbo intercooler. It's got a 3-inch core. The placing of it, I would prefer to have the core to be shown down here in the bottom grill, but where the mounting brackets are, I don't think you can see them. They're right in there. You basically had to mount it right to the bumper. I'm sure you could fabricate something up, but it's just kind of the mounting place that we were stuck with. It does look really cool coming down the road. Okay, so next we have this completely custom intake pipe. This was fabricated at a shop in Georgia next to Super 6 Motorsports. And this is just some heat resistant tape. It's supposed to like protect against like radiating heat from the engine. It's just one layer, some places 2 layers of tape. I haven't noticed any difference. Generally, my intake temperature is about 10 to 15 degrees below or above the ambient temperature outside. So that's partly due to the oil cooler that we have. You can't really see it either, but it's behind the intercooler. That's part of it right there. And that's also due to running E85, which burns a little bit cooler. So, in this CX Racing intercooler that we have, it's rated for 1,000 horsepower, and we're not pushing anywhere near that power. So just between all those things, that's how we get such cool temperatures. So right here we have the Turbo Smart race port blow-off valve. Haven't had any issues out of it either. The issue we did have when installing it though is when we bought this, it came with a flange that was made out of aluminum, and this is stainless steel piping right here. So we had to weld it, and we ended up buying a stainless steel flange. So it wasn't really an issue, just kind of didn't pay attention when buying it. So we were also running different spark plugs. We were running the NGK spark plug brand, and we obviously have 6 of those. And these are the NGK 6509-6 spark plugs. I think they're just normal, rated like in the normal heat range. But I'm not real sure about spark plugs. It's just what I read about them. So next up here, we have the ProCharger 2-bar map sensor. I do not have a product number for this because I cannot find it anywhere. I don't know how Tom at Super 6 got his hands on it, but we managed to get one, and we have to run it because the factory one is just a 1-bar sensor, and that's not enough for the boost that we're running. So since we're up here too, we have the Turbo Smart Boost Solenoid right there. And these are all kind of, honestly, they're just rigged up. Like, if I wanted to take the time, I could get all these wires and hoses and make them look prettier, but this isn't a show car, right? It's my daily driver, so it works. Also, right in here is the MSD Ignition 8918 TAC adapter. We had to purchase this because the electronic boost controller that we had wasn't reading the tachometer, the RPM, so we ended up having to get that to adapt for it, and it ended up working, so just something else we had to purchase. I'm also running these K&N breathers right here on both sides. All of this was possible with the Super 6 Motorsports adapter kit. It comes with some adapter plates that can be seen right in here in between the engine block and the turbo manifolds. And the reason you need those is because the bolt pattern that's on the EcoBoost turbo manifolds is different than what comes with the factory header, well, different than the bolt pattern that goes into the engine block. You can see right there one of the bolts is not being used, so it just kind of allows you to adapt to that. And then it comes with all of the fittings for the turbos for coolant, oil, and I think that was it. It came with a lot of fittings and just a lot of hoses and wires and bolts and stuff. So inside the car we have the Turbo Smart eBoost Street electronic boost controller right here. And so that's our electronic boost controller. On the fly, I can adjust the set point pressures, the wastegate pressures, the overboost. There's a few other settings in there, but those are the three ones that I mainly deal with. This does not, it reads really close to the boost vacuum gauge that is on the center screen right here, but it does not actually read boost. It reads at some type of set cycle point that it runs on, and that's the number that it displays, but it is really close to what it reads on the boost gauge. I stripped the back seats out because I personally didn't want to have to deal with having back seats and wanting to haul other people around, and I never even had anybody sit back there, so I basically just took them out for a little bit of weight reduction, and I thought it looked cool. I made this back seat, or this rear seat delete kit. It's just cardboard under here and with some carpet. I bought it all from Home Depot. It just kind of wrapped around, so you can't sit on it. It'll flex, but it's sturdy here in the middle, but I don't really put anything on it. So since we're under here, there is my VMP 40 amp fuel pump booster. We needed that for the extra fuel due to the boost. So here's an update on the white tire letters. The whole tire itself is dirty. These are still managing to look pretty white. They're a little, have a little yellowish tint to it, but overall, they still look really white. And I'm sure once I wash the tires, they will look good too. So the exhaust that I'm running, it's basically a custom setup. I have these turn down tips. I used to have the Roush Axleback exhaust, so I had them cut off right here. And I basically uninstalled it just to see how it would sound, and I didn't notice too much of a sound difference. Now looking back on it, there was definitely a sound difference. But for the time being, I just installed these little turn down tips because I didn't want the mufflers pointing, or the pipes pointing straight at my tires, so now they're kind of pointing down, and it's another thing for weight reduction. I don't think you can see it, but way down here where the resonator is, there's actually 2 X pipes in place of the resonator. Okay, so I guess I'll start the car up for you guys.